All right. On the board, the instructions say calculate the slope. Hey, as they come out, you can hand them out too. You're going to calculate slope. Step number one, calculate slope. I'm going to give it to you this one question 3 different ways. Calculate slope. Okay? What did I give you? What do you see in front of you? I said graph with a line on it. So if I ask you to calculate slope, there's only one technique to do it. What's that technique? Step number one, what do I got to find? That's what we're trying, but what do I have to find in order to calculate the slope? I got to find 2 on the line because it's right. Now be careful. On this particular one, it's a pretty easy one. You can see that the blue line goes through almost a whole bunch of lattice points. Say it goes to this one, it goes to this one. Pretty easy. So it's rise over run. So what's the slope of this one? I do want to have one check step. The check step is this. We regraph, we can regraph from left to right. If you remember, we're going to read these from left to right. Are we going up the hill or down the hill? As we go up that blue line, are we going up or down the hill?
I think I'm having like a hard time hearing you through the computer audio. It's
yes. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm trying to print and talk at the same time, and the computer's right next to the printer.
Hi.
All right, so I'll hang out right here. So as you look, can't understand what you're saying.
Sorry, y'all.
I'm sorry, Mike. As we look at the graph, are we going up the hill or down the hill? Okay. Therefore, when you go uphill, is that positive or negative slope?
Positive.
Chris. Seriously. Let's focus. No distractions whatsoever. None. But focus. What you were doing right there was not focus. Okay. All right. So some of these are ridiculously easy. The slope there is 1. Other times, right, we have a slope that's going down. Check step. Clearly, the slope is going to be negative. If there's an issue here, it's that some students can't find these lattice points. A lattice point is defined as this, right, where the 2 block lines come together. Okay. If you notice, right smack here is that a lattice point. So I can't choose that as a point. It's a point on the graph, but I can't choose that particular one. I gotta find lattice points. You can start either, I don't know, bottom, top to bottom. As I come down, this one really looks like it's close to a lattice point. But as you stare at it, it's not. However, this one is a lattice point. As I continue down, this one kind of sort of looks like a lattice point. It's not. Find one that really, truly goes through. Is there anyone stuck or doesn't understand the importance of that right there? It really kind of looks like this one does. It doesn't. It doesn't go to where the 2 black lines come together, right there. If the line goes like that, not a lattice point. If the line goes like that, then it does go through. So just be careful. There'll be a couple tricky ones. All right, positive or negative slope just by looking at it. Okay, say this again. Not that you have to read it from left to right. I want you to read it from left to right. If we read it from left to right, we're not going up a line, we're going down a line. I already know the slope is negative. Okay? Remember, slope is rise over run. You get those 2 backwards, clearly you get the wrong answer. So it looks like we're going down. Now you're just counting squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So going down 5. Down is in a negative direction. And then from here, I'm going to the right. Right is a positive direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? If the fraction can be reduced, you reduce it. Okay? Can't be reduced, you can't reduce it. Okay? There is one of many things that we've done so far in this chapter. Calculate slope from a graph. Can you do that? Yes? No? Okay. there is skill number 1. I gave you 4 of them, but I did give you 2 special ones, and I do want to talk about it because everyone forgets. You're going to see this every day. I'm going to give you a horizontal line. I'm going to give you a vertical line. If it's not on your resource card somewhere, put it somewhere. If you don't have this committed to memory, how many more do you need?
0.
Cool. If it's not on your resource card, then it needs to go on there. What's the slope of any horizontal line? It is 0. Okay. What's the slope of a vertical line? Undefined. Slope of a vertical line is undefined. Slope of a horizontal line is 0. I am literally like giving you free answers right here. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to put vertical and horizontal lines and ask you the slope. There's nothing to calculate. You can. You can put a 0 and be done with it on this one. Anytime you see a horizontal line, it has a slope of 0. Anytime you see a vertical line, undefined. 0 with a line as well. Okay. That means no solution. Okay, that was skill number 1. Skill number 2, the more complicated one. Mike, can you hear me now? He may have dropped off if he couldn't hear
Yes,
me.
I can hear you much better. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I was printing something out and I had the computer right next to the printer.
Oh,
okay.
that's fine.
Who remembers the formula? This one is a formula. Nope, and this is why you need to have it written on your resource card. Go.
Y equals MK.
Nope. This is why you need this written on your, what do you got? Not a single person remembers this, right? Which is typical. It is your first year of seeing this. So here is the formula. Write the word slope. Now, I guarantee you there's 1 or 2 that did remember this. Okay. But there was a formula other than rise over run. It's not squared. Porter, what is it? Perfect. So Porter has it memorized. There might be a couple others, but most of you don't. And it's okay. I mean, this is the first year you got this. And some of you admitted you saw this last year. That's the formula for slope. Slope is rise over run. It's the change in y's over the change in x values. In order to do this problem, you need to label. And the labeling is the thing that typically gets you into problems because it doesn't go x1, x2. It goes x1, y1. It goes, I wish I could move this out of the way, but it won't let me. And then the other one goes x2, y2. Literally that's what I do as well too. I put 1, 2, and then put x, y, xy. Okay, and that works fine. The other thing, Rowan, what I do is because if the numbers are next to each other, it follows the same pattern. This minus this over this minus this. I call this the butt cheeks. You kind of might see why. All right. All right. Well, you'll see when we have algebra 1 or geometry with me next year, you're going to hear a lot of bad words. All right. All right. So now what we got to do is plug in the numbers. So y2 looking up there is 15. So we write 15. There's always a minus sign. Put a minus sign, even though you might get 2 negatives, it does turn into positive. Put them there before you decide it turns into a positive. So I get 15 minus 10. Where did I get those numbers from? Here's y2, here's y1. Over x2 is 18 and y2 is, I'm sorry, x1 is 16. I do that math, reduce the fraction, and I get to a final answer of 5 over 2. And I'm not sure why you were gone for 10 minutes. I will. All right. Just get a sheet paper out. We do one for him. All right, questions on that? Take I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes and do the next 4. And I'll print this out for him, and then we'll get going again. One of those, or maybe it's 2 of them, is a vertical or horizontal line when you're using that form. Be ready for it. Online learners, I'm going to stop the share for just a second, and then I will re-show you. All right, questions? All right, pretty straightforward. Not a big deal. Mistake, you drop a negative, especially if you have 2 negatives. Remember, 2 negatives turn into a positive. The answer to question number 5 was 5/2. The answer to number 6 is, what is it? I know, I'm not going to do it. Question to number 6 is, who's got it? -5/7. 1 minus 14 would be 1 plus 14, which would be 15. -8 minus 13 is -21. So we get a positive 15 over a -21. That reduces to -5/7. Say again. Kaylee? You got it? Okay. All right. We're moving on to the next category for review. Next category for review once this thing goes away. Go away thing. There it goes. All right. I said I was going to ask this question 3 ways. Here's the easiest way. What's the slope? How do you know that? It's not just because it's attached to x, it's because the equation is in what form? Y equals mx plus b. And you're like, well, where's the b? It would be +0. So when it's in this form, when it says y equals, the number attached to x is the slope. Anything challenging there? What's the slope? Okay. What's the slope? Oh, we got a problem. We got a problem. Is this of the form y equals mx plus b? Yes or no? Where's the y? Nowhere. So it's not in the form of y equals mx plus b. So now we got to rely on other information. Have you seen anything before that said x equals a number? Have you ever seen x equals a number before? What is that form? And I'll give you the hint, x equals k. There is an answer. The form x equals k is what? What kind of line is it? And I'll give you another hint. There's another one that says y equals k. One of those is vertical, one is horizontal. Which is which? X is your vertical, y equals is your horizontal line. So this one is of the form x equals k. So what's the slope of any vertical line? Undefined. You're going to see this every time I give you slope, whether it's a graph, whether it's 2 points, or whether it's an equation.
I'm going to also throw in a vertical and a horizontal line just to see if you're paying attention. If you don't have this right here written somewhere on a resource card to remind yourself over and over and over again that vertical lines have a slope of 0 and they're the form of x equals k, and horizontal lines are the form of y equals k, slope is 0. All right, that's 3 things that we just reviewed. Once again, for what you have in front of you, except for Hannah, do as much as you need to review. Hey, big boy, big girl rules, right? I'm not going to point fingers or name names. I'm just going to say there's very few of you that don't need to do the entire paper. That means you need to do the entire paper. There might be 1 or 2 of you that right now I already know probably have it. Do a couple of each section. But for most of you, I'm really saying do the whole paper. How many questions are there? I know there are. There's 28. Okay. There's 44. There's 44 problems. Some of these are quickly done like this one. Right? There's nothing to do here. You just say undefined and you're done. Okay. Hey, what's the slope of number 12? 0. You're done. If you kept up with me, we just did 12 of 44. So the first couple ones are done pretty quickly. All right. What's the slope? What's the slope? You're already done. Now we've done 13 of 44. Now some of them are going to be a lot of it slow. All right. I'll leave these for you guys to do. All right. Number 21. What is it asking us to do? Instructions. It says write in slope-intercept form. Yes? That's what the instructions say. Where are the instructions? Where does it say that? Okay. I'm not sure why I didn't print out the instructions here. So write in slope-intercept form. You ready? All right. Aiden, tell me slope-intercept form. What does it look like? What's the equation for slope-intercept form? So far, so good. Slope times x, that would be mx. Ugh. It doesn't work on this. It's not a touch screen. Perfect. So there is your start right there. Y equals horrible mx plus b. Now we just plug in the information. We're going to take what we did in box 1 through 4 with information that we know about the y-intercept. Chris, where's the y-intercept? Where is the y-intercept? Well, it's, if you ever lose this, find the letter y, right? The letter y is right there. So this is your y-axis. So the y-intercept is where the blue line, yours is blue, crosses that. It's at Chris. He's on his way. So the y-intercept, Chris, is, so watch what I do. I simply put a -1 underneath where the b is. Okay? I only need to find one other number, and that's the slope. This one is hard. Chris says he doesn't see it. I can see why. See where the arrows touch? They actually touch a point. Can you see that? It's on your paper too. Can you see how that crosses the lattice point? That's the only other place. It doesn't matter which one you chose. I'll choose this one. We just got to find the slope now. This is like question 1 through 4. So is that up or down? Down how many squares? 3. So we get a slope of -3 over, is it 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we get -3/5. There's your m, -3 over 5. The only thing left to do now, we just put y equals and attach an x and you are done. No, that's the one where we don't know what b is. We'll do that one next. You can. You absolutely can, but then you solve for b, but then you still have to find your slope. So you could do it that way. This is a bit quicker. Find the y-intercept first, find another point, calculate the slope, and then plug both the slope and the y-intercept. Hey, be honest with me. You got this? This is like Algebra-1 stuff. So we're going to do another one. All right. So another one. Let me clear this. Yes.
So for those, we're just figuring out the equation, correct?
Just the equation.
Okay.
Number 22. All right, Piper, step 1. Somewhere on your paper, you literally, so it's in front of you, just write y equals mx plus b. Then all we have to do is find m and b. M is your slope, b is your y-intercept. Where's the y-intercept? It's on your paper too. -3. So -3 is your b, so I'm gonna put a -3 right there. There's my b, okay? I'm gonna circle it because we gotta have 2 points to find the slope. Piper, do you see another point somewhere? Yeah, it is the end, right? So right here. And you could have chose down here as well too. Now simply count squares, up or down. How many? So up to, over. You have the paper in front of you. You can use your pencil. What'd you get? 2/5. Very good. I toss an x. I toss a y equals, and you're done. There's your equation of that line. Y equals 2/5 x minus 3. All right, so I have one person that was shaking their head no. You got to be honest. You got this or not? Okay, cool. Kaylee, yes? Kaylee? Because remember, m is by definition your slope. Okay. Okay. All right, I'm moving on. I don't know why this doesn't give me the instruction. What's the next instruction thing is what number?
27.
27. What? Oh, yeah, let's pause. Let's look at number 25. What do you notice about 25? What do you notice about 25? What are all vertical lines of the form of? X equals K, where K represents where it crosses the x-axis. No, we're not calculating slope. Where does it cross the x-axis? Where? So therefore the answer is x equals, and you're done. You have your sheet?
Yeah.
Yes? Everyone? Hey, by the way, I'm giving you points here. If I give you a vertical or a horizontal line, I say write the equation, it's very easy. If that's 25, then what is it? 26 the next one or 24? So what's 24? The equation. Y equals 1. Yes, because all horizontal lines are of the form of y equals k, where k represents where it crosses the y-axis. So yes, you get challenging ones like, 24, 23, 22. But then I gave you a couple vertical horizontal lines, and I will put this on the test. I won't put both a vertical and horizontal, but I'll put one of them. It's like I'm giving you points if you know what you're doing. This is not a review for a test. This is just, hey, we've done too much in chapter 9 or chapter 8. We got to take a break. All right. 27 is just the reverse of that. 27 is graph this sucker now. Well, what form is the equation in? Y equals mx plus b. So if this is, I got to clear this. Hold on. So this is of the form of y equals mx plus b. So mx plus b, can you see that? Y equals mx. It doesn't say y is equal to 2. That's a horizontal line. It says y is equal to x. So if it says that, it's mx plus b, but we're missing some numbers there. What number is attached to x? So this is really y is equal to 1x. We just chose not to write the 1. But what's b? So plus or minus, doesn't matter, 0. Can you see that? That was a tricky one. Y equals 1x plus 0. Okay, once you have the equation in the form of y equals mx plus b, now we graph this sucker. To graph this sucker, step 1, we graph the y-intercept. What's the y-intercept? What's b? Why are you not drawing? It's 0. So we put a dot on. All right, there's my first dot. What's the slope? What's the slope? It's the number that's attached to x. What number is attached to x? You got to write it as a fraction, so it's 1. Why are you stopping? 1 over, not 0. It's 1 over 1. Oh boy, is this frustrating. So from this dot, what do? I go up 1 over 1, put another dot. I can go up 1 over 1. What's the opposite of 1? What's the opposite of 1? These two fractions are equal. 1 over 1 is the same as negative 1 over negative 1. So instead of going up 1 over 1, I go down 1, left 1. Notice I got a nice straight line. How many dots do you truly need to put?
2.
Just 2. We put 4 because, well, we want to make your life hard, right? But it is a good skill to know how to go in both directions. Okay. All right. So that's a more challenging one. I shouldn't have put that as our first one we did, but I did. So let's instead do a more comfortable one, number 28. All right. If you need to write steps, write steps. Sophia, what's the first step? If I give you an equation of the form y equals mx plus b, I'm asking you to graph, what's your first step? Okay, you need to write this down, okay? Okay, step number 1 is you take that number right there, the b, and you graph it. That b value is your y-intercept. It's where the line crosses, not the x, but the y-axis. So I find 2 on the y-axis and put a big honking dot. There we go.
Not big enough.
Not big enough, I know. I barely made it that large. All right. That's step 1, Sophia, yes or no? Okay. Step number 2 is now we look at the slope. The slope is rise over run. We got a problem with this slope. What's the problem? Oh, we love fractions. It's a negative fraction. So you have to decide, do you want the negative on the top or the bottom? So because Ryland spoke up first, and there's no right answer to this, we're going to put it on the bottom. The reason we do that, because remember, slope is rise over run, and I'm lazy. I'm not going to write all the letters. Rise over run.
It's a 3-letter word.
Yeah, but I'm writing with my finger.
You could just put it, and it's just an upside down U. It's the same amount of words.
Happy now?
Yes.
Okay. So rise over run.
But now it looks dumb. It's a ride over run.
Oh. All right. So rise over run. Sophia, we have to apply these 2 numbers to this dot. What's this number say right here? That's the rise. That's how far you go up. We don't go up to 3. We go up 3 squares. So 1, 2, 3 squares. I'm right here. And then I run -5. Does -5 mean right or left? Where are the positive numbers? To the right or to the left? To the left. Are the negative numbers to the right or the positive? So since the run was -5, we went up 3, we go left 5, we're right here. If you okay with 3 over -5? So from our original y-intercept, which was +2, I rise 3, but my run is, we're not going to -5, we're going over 5 squares or 5 tick marks. If we wanted to go in the opposite direction, the opposite of 3 is, and the opposite of 5 is, so we would have a -3 over a +5. So I could do the same thing for my original dot, but this time I'm going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and this time right 5. I went over 6. I apologize. I just see that right now. Sorry. Now I'll do it right. All right, so we want to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and then over to the right 5. There we go. Hey, I got 3 points there. What's our last step? What's our last step? Play connect the dots with arrows on both ends. Aiden, yes or no on this? In Algebra 1, if like everyone in the class is getting A's, I usually do that. When I don't have everyone in the class not getting A's, then I usually don't count off for it. Oh, no, people in this class have A's.
So you will be
Right. No, I'm just saying, if everyone in the class was making straight A's, I would probably count off for small, you know, inconsequential, like you didn't put arrows on your line. But when we're first learning this out, I will make that correction on your paper and remind you that it should be arrows, but I generally don't do it. Do we want to do another one or we got this? Are you sure? Aiden, do you have this? Sophia, you sure? Hey, we can't say yes if the answer is really no. Piper, yes or no? Yes. It's just the slope. No, that's the perpendicular one. So slope of parallel line is the same slope. All right. What are the next instructions? Which number?
Number 33.
What does it say for 33?
0, 0.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Let's do a vertical and horizontal line. Hey, vertical horizontal line 31. Horizontal. Once again, some of you don't have that committed to memory. That's why it has to be on a resource card. Y equals K is a horizontal line. And I agree that it's the most confusing thing. You would think that X equals is horizontal. It's not. It's the Y equals. So we put one dot on the Y axis of -1, and then we draw a line. Thank you for making me feel.
Look at that. Look at number 3. Look, it just peaks a little bit. Peaks a little bit, it goes back down.
I'm not making it any better than that.
Oh, look at -1 right there. It peaks a little bit.
Actually, maybe I can make it better. All right, here we go. Oh, look at that. All right, but I didn't put arrows, so I still got it wrong. All right. Let's take a don't get lost. 32 is a vertical line at +4 on the x-axis. Okay, 33. So this is the one that you're trying to get me to do earlier. So it's asking me to write the equation of this line that goes through 2 points. This is the one that requires the most work. Okay, here is the work. Step number 1, if you need to write this down, write this down. Step number 1, calculate the slope. Well, the slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. If you like patterns, there's the pattern. So step number 1 on 33 is to calculate the slope, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is the pattern it forms. So we get -4 minus a -2. I'm just following the pattern now that I've shown it to you, over -4 minus 0. So where am I getting those numbers from? Remember, x1, y1, x2, y2. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. 2 negatives turn into a, so -4 plus 2 is -2, and -4 minus 0 is still -4. That fraction turns into 1/2. Okay, step number 1, we'll calculate the slope. This is the hard one. Step number 2, you pick a point. It doesn't matter which one you want. Which one do you want?
0.
I like the 0 because it's got a 0. Less chance of me making a mistake. And I throw that point into the equation with the slope to calculate for B, because we need B.
Why do you need B?
Because we remember the equation is y equals mx plus b. I just found m. M is equal to 1/2. Now I got to find b.
Perfectly fine without B a little bit ago.
No. Not with graphing. I gave it to you as y equals mx plus b. You graph b first. Okay. All right. So to calculate b, we take this point right here, 0, -2. Remember, it goes x, y. We throw it into the equation. Y is -2. Where did I get that? Right here. That's the y value. Y is equal to m. M is 1/2. We just calculate the slope of b 1/2. X in this case is 0. Oh boy, is life nice, because it's 1/2 times 0 plus b. Therefore, 0 times 1/2 is a 0. And we get b is equal to -2. All right. I have b. I have m. Now we throw it into the equation. Who can do that? Go ahead, Hannah. Y is equal to 1/2 x minus 2. All right, we're going to stop right there for a second and make sure everyone saw those steps. All right, so the steps. Step number 1, you got to calculate the slope, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, everybody good on that? By the way, that was question 1 through 4 on the review. How to calculate slope using that formula. See this pattern here with these loops? And that works great when the numbers or the 2 points are next to each other. Doesn't work great when they're stacked upon each other. But if they are left and right to each other, you can use that pattern. Okay, we calculate the slope, m is equal to 1/2. To find the b value, we take this slope right here, 1/2, and a point of your choosing. Choose wisely. Sometimes you can make your life easy. In this case, I could. Rowan, you with me? All right. We toss both of those, that's what I did right here, into y equals mx plus b, and I solved for b. It worked out nicely because, well, we had 0 times 1/2. It won't always be this nice, right? We found b was -2. We take both those values, 1/2 and -2, throw it in, and we're done. All right, how long is it going to take you to do that sucker? What? Really? I'm saying 5 minutes. To do all of this? Kaylee's shaking her head, yes, it'll be 5 minutes, right? Well, will you agree it's at least a minute? Okay, so it's somewhere between 1 and 5 minutes to do one problem. This is the most complicated one that we'll do, this one right here. All right, by the way, this is a review. Do you remember doing this? No. So we better do more. All right, so thank you for being honest. All right, let's do another one. Hey, if you know what you're doing, work in front of me. All right, I will do number 34. Rowan, do you have it already done? Grab your pencil. If you want to follow along with me, follow along with me. If not, work ahead of me.
You do 36.
Let's do 34. All right, here we go. Number 34. I can't stop and hit the printer right now, so unfortunately, you can do it on a piece of scratch paper. Here we go. So the formula, for those of you who need it, remember, is y2 minus y1 over, Chris, you with me? X2 minus x1. Good, because you're going to give me the numbers. What do you want me to do now, Chris? You want me to do the label? You want me to do the loops? What do you want me to do? Okay, so label would be x1, y1, x2, y2. Oh, I need a pen. This is horrible. All right, go ahead, Chris.
Oh, it's 1 negative 1 minus 5.
Over. Some people, they're like myself included, kind of lazy, and they don't want to write 4 minus minus 2, so they'll put, oh no. They could. 2 negatives turn into, Chris. So that's really 4 plus 2. Now, just so that you can see, remember, this is really 4 minus minus 2, right, in parentheses. And 2 negatives turn into a positive, okay? All right, Chris, tell me what to do now.
I believe it's 5
Same or different signs?
same sign.
Add or subtract. So that's 6, but it's, oh no, not 6, but it's over, which is, you're almost there. So you're saying 6 divided by 6 is 6? 4 plus 2? What's 4 minus minus 2?
Yes, the negative and the negative.
He's got it now. Chris? -1. Very good. Hey, we did all that work. What did we just find, Chris? Doesn't it seem like that should be the answer? It's just like 1 of 3. That's what M is. M for slope, right? You just found M in final answer. Y, we're not there yet, but Y equals MX plus B. Okay? MX plus B. We okay? Speak now, forever hold your peace. All right. 1/3 done. Second third is the hardest. Kaylee, you remember what we're doing? But what, just tell me in general terms, what are we solving for? Perfect, solving for B. So here's the steps. All right, second step in red. You pick either point. It doesn't matter, but maybe you choose the one with the smallest number, the fewest negatives to make your life. This one doesn't matter. They're both ugly. So which one you want, Kaylee? And they both have negatives, right? So she wants to pick the second one, maybe because the numbers are smaller. Okay. I mean, the numbers are so close that this one, if you got a 0, always pick the one with zeros. If you got one that has the same numbers, pick that one. Okay. So here we go. Aiden, you tracking? Okay. Brandy? Yeah? You already got an answer, Brandy? Okay. All right. So Kaylee, all we're going to do is we're going to take this point and we're going to throw it into Y equals MX plus B and solve for B, exactly what you just told me. We have our Y, we have our X, and we have our M. We just solved M, it's -1. So can you screw this up? Well, hopefully not, because you labeled it. So Kaylee, what's the Y value? What's the Y value in the point that you chose? So I write -1 is equal to what was the slope, the M that we just calculated? Another -1. What was the X value in the point you just chose? So 4 with parentheses. Some lazy people like myself will already be doing that math in their head. They're like, I'm not writing -1 times 4. I'm going to write, you can do that. Just be careful. Rowan, you got the answer? You got the answer? No. You got the answer, yes or no? Then work with me. Meaning like your head's not on the desk, you're working with me. Plus B. Kaylee, yes, no? Okay. Now we're just solving it. Well, -1 times -4 is plus B. Okay. So what are we going to do to both sides? Because it's attached by multiplication.
No.
We're going to add 4 to both sides.
So -3.
4 minus 1 is 3. Woo! All right, 2/3 through the problem. You guys were claiming 1 minute. I don't know. I didn't look at the clock when I started this, but it seems like more than a minute to me.
You also took your time.
I didn't really take my time.
You're like, okay, let's do this.
Kaylee?
Now.
By the way, we're not done yet. 4 minus 1 is 3. You just said add 4. What's this number right here? So you said add 4 to both sides. Yes? 4 minus 1 is 3. Okay, listen to your words. What did you say to do both sides? There's a 4. What's the other number? 4 minus 1 is 3. Okay, all right. Now we have our two numbers. We have we got a 3 and we got a -1. Yes? Those are the two numbers we throw into here and we're done. And that's it, we're done. Y is equal to, what's the M value? Okay, so we could put -1. I'm just going to write -x, but you could write -1x. And what was the B? And we're done. I'm going to claim that for the majority of people in here, this is a solid 3 to 5 minutes worth of work. For those of you that are quick, it might be 1 to 2 minutes. Yeah. Downstairs. All right. What have I left off on the sheet? Look forward because we don't have enough time to do too many more. What have I left off? The very last thing that we had for homework. All right. So write this down somewhere. Somewhere in notes. The slope of any parallel line is
0.
any parallel line. So if I write y is equal to 2x plus 5, what's the slope of this line? Not x. What's the slope of this line? What's the slope of this line? Okay, take a deep breath. Y equals mx plus b, yes? In that equation, y equals mx plus b, what's the slope? M. So what's the slope of this line?
2.
2. Parallel lines have the same or different slopes?
Same.
Hannah? Therefore, what's the slope of a line that's parallel to this line? 2. Contrast that with perpendicular. Okay? A perpendicular line is the one you're trying to give me. A perpendicular line has what? Opposite reciprocals. Write this one down. Opposite reciprocals. So if I want the line that's parallel to this line, it's 2. If I want the line that's an opposite reciprocal, well, then I got to take the opposite. What's the opposite of 2? What's the reciprocal of -2? Okay. The opposite of 2 is -2. The opposite reciprocal, -1/2. I just take that sucker and flip it. All right. That's everything on the worksheet. All right. Now let's have a, I don't want to say come to Jesus speak, but let's do that. Right? Everybody know what that means?
Yeah.
Right? When you want to take something serious and you're not going to lie to yourself, right? Where are we at? We know 10%. Hey, sit. Stop packing up. We got 2 minutes anyway. So here's our come to Jesus speak. Hey, I'm going to guess as a teacher, I already know because I know my students, right? I know who's got this right now and can do this whole thing and knows everything. Who? Okay. Well, the people that get A's on every test I give you, right? The rest of us, where are we at? Are we at 10%? Are we at 50%? Because by the way, this is the middle of the chapter. This isn't even the end of the chapter. We're taking a pause right now to do a review because we got to review this. This is a lot of stuff. You need, and I'm not asking literally for an answer. I'm just saying, take a look at yourself right now. When you do this, obviously, all the answers are here. You can see everything. Tomorrow, I will ask this question. But tomorrow, I'm going to ask, Porter, sit. Thank you. Tomorrow, I'm going to ask you to write on your paper before you, I will collect these tomorrow. Where are you at percentage-wise? It makes no sense for me to continue the rest of the chapter if we're at 10%. Middle of the chapter, I would hope that we're above 50%. Don't make me happy you put above 50 if you're not, right? But I need to know. I'm not moving on, right, until we got this. And like we're at least up 50% or above. Like I can do 50% of this and get it right every time. Hey, some of this you're at 100%, right? Calculating slope, right? No big deal. Maybe graphing the line, we're at 100%. But other stuff like this stuff, right? Hey, give me the equation of the line that's perpendicular to this line that goes to this point. We're probably not there yet. That's okay in the sense of we can still do another practice day, but I gotta know. Finding out come test day that you are clueless is not an option, right? Yes, do you agree or disagree?
Agree.
Right, don't agree because it's lunchtime, you want to go lunch. Right? But I'm saying it wouldn't make any sense, right? So do this review sheet. Hey, and I still need to print one off for you. Do this review sheet. Look at the answers, and tomorrow I'll ask you to put on the top of your paper where are you at percentage-wise. I know 50% of this stuff. I know 60%. I'm at 100%. Right? Something like that. Questions?
You got it all.
You. I'll collect that from student advice.
Why do you do
all right.
that?
Hey, look around your desk, pick up all your trash, push in your chair, and then go to lunch.
Mr. Sugar, you said you collect these and
I kind of ran out of time. I'll collect the student advisement. I'll come by student advisement to get your homework. Are eating in the lunchroom? Yes. Make sure there are no trash left by your desk.
Mr. C,
Yes.
that was it, right?
That was it. Yep. Go eat lunch. What are you having for lunch?
Tuna salad.
Sounds good.
Yep.
No, depart.
No.
Rylan, what you forgot?
Recording.